All right, hey there. So, I got some stuff in the mail today that I wanted to show. First off, we got some a contest winning that came in today, and then some other stuff after that. But okay, so a couple video. I've been doing a lot of contests recently, and hey, what do you know? I actually won one of them over at Aaron's channel. Aaron Muta Alamar had a contest where he gave away first, second, and third place. I came in second. Basically, what happened was first person who won first place gets to choose from. He gave the option of like a bunch of records, and then the second person got choice from whatever was left of that. So if you wanted the one that the other guy took, you couldn't do it. And that third place winner, obviously had two people before him that could have got the goods. And I won second place, so that was cool. So if you haven't checked out Aaron's channel, go do it. He, a couple of videos, handful of videos, a couple weeks ago, came into a haul that blows my mind. I don't know all the details. I just remember watching video after he broke it up into multiple videos. And the stuff that he got, I've never seen in the wild, much less in one place where you could get it. And it just was some obscure and amazing stuff. It blew my mind. Anyway, so I assumed some of the stuff that maybe he was giving away was doubles, or I don't know, whatever. He never mentioned that. But so I won second place. First place person took an album that I wasn't interested in, so that's good. And of all the ones to choose from after that, there were a few that I wanted, but I ended up going for this one, and I'll tell you why. So what I got was Avenged Sevenfold. This is a best of Avenged Sevenfold. It is on 3 albums. I'll take the albums out here. It opens up nice. So it is a 3-record set. I think the 6th side, there's 5 sides. I believe the 6th side is probably etched, I think. Anyway, so the reason I went for this, okay, Avenged Sevenfold is one of those, obviously a modern metal band, been around for, over a decade or so. I only own one physical item by Avenged Sevenfold, and that's the album Nightmare. Any guesses why Jeff bought Nightmare by Avenged Sevenfold? In the back. You in the back? Alright, so if you don't know, Nightmare was the one album that Mike Portnoy played on drums. Their drummer passed away, was like 2010, and Mike Portnoy stepped in and played on the album and played on the tour. And that was all around the time when Portnoy left Dream Theater. Not because of that band, but there was just, he was doing things with other bands. It just, a lot of things going on. So, around that time. So, it had Portnoy in it. It's a great album. So, I have always kind of not spent a lot of time with the modern metal bands. But Avenged Sevenfold is one that came out. One of my former bandmates was big into them because they have a very classic metal sound. The vocals are a little aggressive, more than maybe the classic melodic metal, but musically, they weren't the heavy death stuff. They were like some of them, and they weren't really gruff like some of the modern metal bands that are out there. So they come across as having really just the really classic sound. So I have bought the Nightmare album. Most all of their other albums I do have digitally, but never owned it. So I thought, what better to do than to, and it's probably a band that I probably would never. Obviously, if I run into them in the wild for $4 or $5 on vinyl, I'm going to grab it, but I'm not going to probably seek them down. They're not a band that I'm going to start collecting vinyl. So what better to do than to grab a best of album? 2005 to 2013, 3 albums. I've got, 3 of the best, 3 albums of the best tracks. So I went ahead and grabbed that. Now, I go to open the package. He also had thrown in a CD. It's just a CDR, but it's a band, Peak and Lazy Jane. He said this is growing up, his best friend, childhood friend growing up. This is a bunch of music that they had done, 98, and some of the stuff was from 93, 96. So I'll check that out. It's always fun to listen to, the earlier bands type stuff. Now, then when I picked up the Avenged Sevenfold, lo and behold, I found a bonus in here that he did not mention, but I was super thrilled about. Oracle's Danger Zone. Now, let me tell you, this was in the haul that he got. And if I recall, I was commenting on his haul. I was sitting there typing, and then I'd see something else, and I was typing and giving him information. Oh, man, I can't believe you got that, blah, blah, blah. And now he mentioned, I think, if I recall, he pulls this up, and he didn't know a whole lot about him. So I just basically said, "Oh, by the way, Oracle is a Canadian band. They're a hard rock band, a Christian band from the early '80s on the Toonsmith label out of Canada that never really did anything else. And that's an album that I've been looking for a while. I mean, it's available, but it's I haven't seen it very rarely under $20. So it's just not high on the list because it's kind of a classic rock sound. You see that? I got a typical rock sound there. So he threw it in. Aaron, thank you so much. This has really, if my day wasn't made already, this has really made my day, because I had this album in the mid 80s. I didn't discover, this was 82. I didn't switch over and start listening to Christian music until 85. But this was one of the bands. Pretty much anything on the Toonsmith label in the day, Canada's Toonsmith label, was where a lot of the rock bands were. You had this, you had the first couple Barnabas albums, you had Hank Lockie Band, there was some other bands, I was drawing a blank. And so for me, I've been scooping up whenever I see things on Toonsmith. Now there were some, more contemporary bands that I probably was not as interested in. But back in the day, if it was Toonsmith, it was worth at least picking up and seeing if it was going to be a rock band. And this was one of them. So I grew up in the mid 80s and into the 90s, and I even have it digitally. I don't know if I've got, I don't think it was ever came out on CD. But anyway, so yeah, this is just an album that's nostalgic to me, and I love it. So Aaron, thank you so much. This is amazing. And I opened it up, and it is in pristine condition. And it's got a sticker right there, but who cares? The album, the vinyl itself was in pristine condition. This made my day. This was just a great bonus. All right, so that was the contest winning. There's still a lot of contests going on. I still got a lot of videos out there, so oh, come on, let's get some more winnings. A few months ago, I showed this album. Got it on Amazon. The price dropped below $20. It is a blue vinyl. It's basically a concert. It's a broadcast, from '94 of Kiss, and it's I think it was on a, I don't think it was on a cruise, but it was Sam Paulo, August of '94, non-makeup years. And what they did is they released this album on, and all the songs on here are just like the classic songs. So even though the concert itself had out songs from the album recent at the time, that wasn't on here. It's all, Deuce, Kojin. So if you have the Kissology box set, you have the whole concert on their DVD. But here is just the classic Kiss songs played by the modern band. So I see albums like this floating around and don't know a whole lot about it. Didn't even pay attention to the label on here. But at some point, I started seeing ads on like Instagram and stuff for an album that looked like it pretty cool. I jumped over to the website. Boom! I found the website where this was made, Coda Records. Oh, okay. And they had a bunch of stuff like this. So it's kind of like probably unofficial release. I wouldn't say bootlegs, but some of the information, some of the stuff is a lot of concert footage from broadcasts and stuff. They had one in particular that kept popping up, and so I went over there and I grabbed it. Then I started looking, and they had a deal, buy two, get one free. Why not, right? So I see a lot of albums like this, and they have Metallica and David Bowie and Queen and just, all kinds of, Uriah Heep, all kinds of interesting bands. And then I saw that they were putting out similar Black Sabbath. They were putting out, similar releases, but on 10-inch double records. I wonder if this will ever come out with something like this, because on the 10-inch double releases, they would have a single release like this, like they have a Metallica one, and then you see that there's a 10-inch 2-album set coming, and it has more songs. I wonder, will they ever put out a second version of this with 2 10-inches and more songs? But they had released this, and I've seen this on Amazon on like purple vinyl. This is a Rush 2112 concert, 40th anniversary, and it I've seen it. And it's in the $20 range. It's on purple vinyl. It is a single record set. Well, then they were releasing this on a double record set. So it's more songs on 2 records. So I pre-ordered this and a couple other things. And I got down to finding 2. And I said, well, I got to get a third one. I grabbed the third one. I'll show you that one. That one's really exciting too. And of course, that one now pops up on Instagram all the time. So what you got here is you've got a. I don't like the fact that it says it's been digitally remastered. Anyway, it's a classic performance at Kyle Auditorium 40 years ago from February 1980. 2112 Suite and the broadcast live during the Permanent Waves tour. And then what it is, it's a cool gatefold. It's got some pictures and information there. And that's a song listing, if you can see that. It comes with this cool little booklet, which is actually kind of like a store poster. On sale here. 2012 in concert. The back is chock full of information and dates and information, I guess, about the release. I get to read that eventually. And then it's on these cute little 10-inch records. And they are all splatter vinyl. Kind of a blue, white, and black splatter vinyl. And there are two. Look really nice. While I was there, this was one that I believe was also on a single disc, and then they were releasing it. I pre-ordered these months ago, and I had to wait till they all three came out before they actually shipped them, and then they came today. This one I believe was also at one point a 12-inch, but it's an AC/DC, A Long Way to the Top, the Bon Scott years. What it's made up of is basically a bunch of broadcasts, legendary broadcasts from 74 to 79. So you've got October 79, January 77, January 77, November 79, and October 79. Same type of design. It's a double with all kinds of cool information. The cover art, of course, is really cool. Got to look the whole Highway to Hell thing. Very cool orange splatter. Orange and black and white splatter. Two of those. I think 10 inches are cute. To have a double is neat. Same thing. You got the booklet, this little booklet thing that folds out to the concert, to the advertising. Actually, that one doesn't. Okay, Coda Records presents. These are like in-store things. And again, information. This was the one I believe was the last one to come out that made me wait the longest. This is the one I keep seeing pop up. And I thought, what better to get something free than something really cool? The Beatles, the Red Album Years. 62 to 66 on air, in studio, and on stage. Same as before. It's a gatefold. Got some information there. And 4 sides. So you got original version with Ringo on drums. Love Me Do. So it's, Abbey Road take 6 and 10, live in 64. The Ed Sullivan Show 64. Ed Sullivan Show Studio 50. So it's got a bunch of live stuff. If you can read that, and I got to get it to the right side for you. And it is on a pretty. They match the covers, obviously, red and white splatter. So far, I threw on the AC/DC one, and it sounds great. It sounds like a live album. I mean, obviously, it's a broadcast. Obviously, it's going to be... Oh, and then the Beatle one has the same thing. Has a booklet. Anyway, so yeah, I won't go much further there. I thought they were really cool. You can go on their site, Coda Records, and then they have a book here, and you can just see... they have released all kinds of cool stuff. There's the Beatles, AC/DC. Those are new. Got all kinds of Beatles stuff. Black Sabbath. This one I wanted to get. It's kind of a purple and white. More Beatles. More Black Sabbath. David Bowie. The Clash. Bob Dylan. Deep Purple. California Jam. There's a lot of stuff I'd like to get here. Of course, here's a Guns N' Roses one that's just coming out. Eagles. Fleetwood Mac. There's the Kiss one. Genesis. This one was on sale, so I almost bought that. But it's a single album, so again, I'm kind of wondering, are they going to be on double? So here you got the Metallica on blue, and then here you got it over here, 10-inch, 2 different vinyls. So it's going to be you know, more songs there. And so they got some Metallica there. That one, similar. Queen. Anyway, a lot of good stuff. Check out Coda Records. It is overseas. You do have to pay for shipping. Shipping wasn't horrible. This would have been ordered before the whole COVID thing messed with shipping to the U.S. They still shipped it DHL, which is what most of these companies are doing now, because U.S. Postal Service won't allow some countries' mail to come in. I had pre-ordered the new Striper album from Italy, from Frontier Records, and they got hit with the, hey, you can't ship stuff to America, so they had to go DHL. And so they notified me and said, shipping cost is going to be an additional blah, blah, blah. When I add up how much I paid for shipping already, with the additional 20-something euros or whatever that they wanted for shipping, the shipping cost alone was $40. I said, no, cancel. I'm not paying $40 to ship in a $25 album. Sadly, it meant that I had to cancel my order for a colored vinyl that isn't available over here anymore. So I went with Amazon for under $25 and got just a black vinyl. You know, it wasn't worth an additional $40-something to get the yellow limited vinyl. So anyway, well, that's all for now. I do have another video I'm going to make soon, but that's what some of the excitement that came in today. Check out Coda Records. There's some really cool stuff there if you can afford the shipping. Anyway, thanks a lot, and rock on.